Okay, everyone, welcome back to the SpeedRacinJason Podcast. This should be episode 13, I believe. I honestly have no idea because it's been a little while since I've recorded one, which you guys know that. If you're in my subscription feed, or if you're checking your subscription feed, you're like, where the fuck's SpeedRacinJason at? And you're like, oh, there's a new video. Let me watch it. This one. This is the one. I don't care what number it is. This is a special occasion because I'm here. I don't really know. I haven't been filming any podcasts for the last couple of days. I think it's been like 8 days. I've been working on, as you guys know, I do all my vinyl work for myself. So this guy messaged me about doing his trailer. So I did his trailer. I'm sure I'll be inserting clips down below while I'm talking. Sorry about that. I had to burp real fast. Didn't want to get that on the microphone for you. Or maybe I did. Who knows? Maybe you guys are sitting there like, damn it, I missed his burp. Just kidding. But yeah, so I did his trailer, and so I've been kind of infatuated with that job for the last couple of days, more focused in on that, trying to get that done, make that guy happy, and I think I did. And you guys can, like I said, look at the clips that I'm showing right now, make sure you guys like it. Other than that, what else have I been up to? I think kind of just that, really. That's kind of been it. I think other than that, you guys have been kind of updated. But if you guys haven't already, go check out the Patreon, please. If you want to. If you don't want to, that is A-okay. But I'm kind of thinking, I like to steal people's ideas. And just kidding. But History Hyenas is this podcast that I watch. It's my new favorite thing. I'm saying. Should be looking over at you guys instead of at that computer the whole time. I shouldn't crisscross my arms either. Makes me look like I'm like angry or something, and I'm not. I'm in a good fucking mood. I'm filming this right before I go down to Abby's house, and I can take advantage of her internet and post it for you guys, so you guys could actually get it tonight or tomorrow morning whenever you're watching it, instead of 3 weeks from now when my internet's done uploading. What was I saying? Shit. This is gonna be bad. I don't know. I was working on Kevin's trailer. I think that's what I was. Oh yeah. History Hyena, stealing people's ideas. Carlos Mencia. I was thinking that on the Patreon, what they do is, if you subscribe to their Patreon, they'll call you, and then you can be on the podcast, and then, they're checking in on you and shit like that. And I'm like, man, that is such a good idea, and it's such a great way to interact with the people, and it kind of gives you guys like an incentive to actually like pay for it. So like, I don't know, for them, it's like $25, to get a call from the History Hyenas. But SpeedRacinJason's kind of broke as AF, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I'm thinking, honestly, maybe even that $2 Patreon club right now should be getting them calls. So if you guys go over there, you can pay $2 a month. Listen, that's like a fourth of the price of Amazon Prime, and they're a horrible company because they're big and all that, and supposedly they're this awful company, and they treat their employees like shit, and all I'm saying is SpeedRacinJason is me and me only. So support your local businesses. Support the small guys. You know what I'm saying? Go give me that $2 a month if you really wanted to. If you don't, that is A-okay as well. Because I'm still dropping the content for free. I'm not putting up a paywall so you guys like have to pay or anything like that. It's more just like, hey, I'm supporting you, and I'll toss you $2 a month, which I would greatly appreciate, and it adds up very quickly. I've got like 1,000 subscribers. Say all of them hopped over there, which probably won't happen, at least anytime real soon, but you get more and more people over there. $2 adds up, even $1 adds up. Bro, I think I went with $2 because it was just like a little. It was like, I think, kind of the cheapest option. It's either that or $1, I think. But like, dude, I don't know. Those people out there with the signs are collecting like pennies and shit like that. And I'm about to start doing the same thing, but for SpeedRacinJason. I'm going to stand out there with a sign. This is actually an idea I've talked about a couple times. I want to take a sign that says something like, take it out like a cardboard sign out to the street corner and dress kind of just how I normally dress. I don't want to like look like I'm homeless, or I can. I don't really care. I don't know if it would be funnier if I look like I'm homeless or not, but either way, I'll just dress how I normally dress, which is kind of fucking homeless if I'm being honest. But I'll go over there and have like a cardboard sign and write on it with a Sharpie and be like, not poor, Well, kind of. But that's not the point. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel and just stand out on like a corner, instead of like asking for asking for pennies and shit like that. Be like, hey, just go check out the channel. That's pretty much pennies at the same thing. If you get enough people, they start paying you in pretty much pennies, the people over at YouTube. So I don't know. That's pretty much that's just a stupid idea I've had a couple times. I thought it would be like a funny little YouTube intro. So if anyone out there is listening, don't steal it. If you want to, go ahead. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Someone probably already did it. I probably saw it somewhere for all I know. I don't know. What's everyone been up to? How's everyone been out there? You guys left me some questions on the last one. One of them was from my friend from high school, Shane. So shout out to Shane for listening. I had no idea you were out there. You were out there picking up on the SpeedRacinJason frequencies. I thought you maybe had died, if I'm being honest. Like, not really. And that was maybe a bad joke. But Shane, you left a comment on there on my YouTube video asking me something about saying that you had just turned. But, dude, first of all, let me just say that. It was exciting to fucking hear that you are live. I was like, God damn, Shane, bro, fucking hit me up. Hit me up on the IG. But, yeah, he kind of said something about how he was turning 21 and he wanted to know what kind of the good bars are. And honestly, I haven't been going out to many bars, but hit me up on Instagram, bro. Me and you have to go out to something and we'll hang out for a little bit. I have to talk, get to know, or what's that called? Get in touch again? I don't know. Catching up. That's what I'm saying. But, I don't know. I haven't been going to too many bars. Honestly, my favorite place to get drunk is Big Al's with all my friends out at the bowling alleys. Man, that's such an adult activity. I take my girlfriend and we all go out. We go out in a big group. We should be starting a league sometime soon because we're all getting pretty good. If you want that smoke, get at us. I think we legit should form a league at some point in time, bro. That would be fucking hilarious. And you guys can come out and bowl against the fucking league. Dude, real talk, Abby was kind of bowling our socks off. She was in like that hundreds club without us. And I was like, damn, bro, that's an exclusive entry. And Abby's the only one that made it in. She was pretty good. She was kicking our asses. I think she was kind of mad at me, so she's using that anger, channeling it in, throwing it at the fucking bowling pins, fucking knocking them out, bro. But yeah, I think that's what he said. I think he just asked about like that, saying that he was just turning 21. I'm excited that he's turning 21. Like I said, glad to hear that you're still hanging around. I don't know what you've been up to, bro. Hit me up on like Instagram and we'll talk, because I miss you. I miss you. I'm pulling up the comment right now. Right here. Question for the next solo podcast. That's what this is, since if you're just now noticing, nobody else is here. I'm fucking lonely out in this office. He said, any good movies you've seen recently? And let me just be real. I just started watching that Ford versus Ferrari movie last night with Abby, and it was freaking great. We had to turn it off because it was like way too late, and I don't know how much longer was left in that movie, but I think there was still a bit fucking left, so we turned it off. So I got to finish that because that was good. He said, tips to get rid of a common cold? Bro, that was 2 weeks ago. This man was predicting the coronavirus is all I'm saying, bro. Shane is out there. He knew what was up. I think, honestly, my little brother Dylan brought home this flyer today, and he was saying he was going to hang it up all over the school, but it was like tips to get rid of, or tips to stopping the coronavirus, and it was like, use your teeth and clean out the dirt from underneath your fingernails, and like, what was the other ones? Like, don't use your hands to turn on the faucet, and I had like this illustration of a guy using his mouth to turn on this faucet in like a McDonald's. It was funny. It was just like all these ways to obviously do not do to get rid of the coronavirus. That's how you get it, bro. But it was just funny. So it's a meme, so it's more of a visual thing, if you know what I mean. If I think all of you know what I mean, because you're like, dude, stop describing a picture to us. He also said camera recommendations. Dude, I'm using this Canon EOS fucking M50 right now, and I think that's a solid camera for me. I don't know what you're trying to do, but this thing seems to kind of be rocking it. You know, it's a newer camera, so it has kind of the newer softwares, stuff like that. It has this autofocus thing that's shared with some of the nicer higher end Canon cameras, you know, and it's tracking my face right now. I'm staying in focus, if you guys can see that. So it does that. It can film in 4K, but if you use the 4K, it doesn't have image stabilization, and it also doesn't do this autofocus that we're talking about here. But I don't know, it kind of depends. If you're trying to take pictures, you know, if you're trying to film videos, it all kind of depends. You know, some people like a GoPro. I got one of those. I got the GoPro Hero 7. It's that hyper smooth, so that thing's kind of insane. It's super smooth footage at all times, even in like our drift cars and stuff like that, which you guys have seen in the previous drift videos. If you have not, go check them out. But that thing gets some buttery clips, and you know, you don't need a gimbal. You can just hold the thing pretty much in your hand and be filming. And so, especially in the car where there's not a lot of room, that's kind of the ideal, is honestly that little GoPro. But if you're trying to take pictures, you know, it kind of depends, you know, because I don't focus in on that nearly as much. So I don't know what you're necessarily looking for, you know. And it also really depends on your price range, because like this camera right here, I think this is a good option for most people, because I think it's pretty cheap. I bought it when it first came out, and I think I paid like $5.99 for it, you know, and that's the camera body and the lens, which is, I think, a decent deal for it. But I think probably nowadays it's probably cheaper, because that's what technology does. It's probably half the price, and it would make me upset if I looked at it on Amazon. I know they have like the EOS R, which is a little bit nicer than mine right now, and that's kind of one of the newer ones that they're messing around with. He says look, we're moving on to the next one, because I was like, I don't know, I'm out of camera knowledge. Not really, but I don't know. Probably most people are like, do they want, I don't know, you guys want to fucking hear everything, I think. So I'm glad I got all of those thoughts out. Either way, I'm moving on to the next question that he left, and he said, how to talk one's way out of a ticket. I don't know, bro. It kind of depends, because if you know the origin stories of Speed Racing Jason, it's because I got a speed racing ticket and my name's Jason. So, sorry, that was a stupid joke, but it was kind of funny. But, yeah, you know, I didn't talk my way out of that situation, is all I'm saying. He was like, do you know why we pulled all 10 of you over? And I'm like, yeah, I think I got a pretty good reason, or I think I kind of know, you know. And so he gave me the speed racing ticket. So I got that ticket, and I didn't talk my way out of it. But I've been pulled over a couple other times. Like one time I got pulled over, and it was the day I got my license. So I still had like the paper license. I didn't even have a actual card. It was the first night I had my license. I went and drove down Sunset Boulevard, which is a street in Sherwood, and I was taking a McFlurry to one of my friends. And once I was like driving down the road, I was like, man, it's dark outside. But this is like the first time I drove like at nighttime, probably. But I was like, it's kind of dark, but like it's not that dark, and the street lamps were all on. So I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, when I'm driving. And I pull up to the stop sign, and as I pull up to the stop sign, this cop pulls up to the stop sign on the other side of the intersection, and I was just like so panicked for some stupid reason, which I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I was just like, I just stopped at the stop sign and I just waited for him to go, and like he got there way after I did. It was like so weird. And so I like slowly creep on through the intersection, and he's just not going, and he just like whips around and pulls me over instantly, which makes a lot of sense. And he pulls me over, and I pull into this apartment complex, which is like right over on Sunset as well, you know, if you know that street. But I pull into this apartment complex, and he's like, hey, you know, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, no, not really, officer. This is like my first night that I've even had my license. And he's like, well, your headlights were off, or your headlights are out. And I was like, oh, they're probably just not on. So I like turn them on. He's like, oh, okay, you know, and he's kind of like laughing now, because he thought I was like a drunk driver, which would make sense because I was acting all suspicious. You know, I rolled up to the stop sign super slow, lights off, waited for him to go, which he wasn't leaving, and I'm just like, I'll just keep waiting here. It was super fucking awkward. And he's like, you know, he kind of tells me, and he's like trying to get my insurance. I can't find the insurance. I'm handing him everything like in the glove box. He's like, dude, you know, ask your mom when you get home. I finally found it, and I like give it to him or whatever. Give him my license, do all of that. He like just kind of interacts with me. He eventually is just like, man, just like, you know, turn on your lights and drive safe, like, you know, and just tells me to pretty much go on my way. So I'm super excited. He drives away. As he drives away, this guy creeps out behind these garbage cans at that apartment complex, and he goes, he gone? And I'm like, who was that? And I like look over, and I was like, yeah, he just left. What's up? You know, who are you or whatever? Like, I don't know exactly how I said it. And he goes, dude, I thought he was here for me. I was out there smoking pot behind the dumpster, and, you know, and I just got super nervous when he pulled in. And I was like, no, he pulled me over because I didn't have my lights on. And we just like kind of laughed about it. And then I drove on my merry way. McFlurry was probably melted at that time, if I do remember correctly. But yeah. So that's a good way to get out of the ticket, and that's why I told that story. I was kind of like, why did I even tell that story? But that's a good way to get out of that ticket is hand over your paper license and explain to the officer that you're kind of just a dumbass, and you didn't really know what you were doing. That probably mainly just works when you're younger though, you know, because I've been driving for a while now. If I did that, he'd probably be like, give me a ticket. I also got pulled over another time when I was driving home, and this was back in high school, and I had my girlfriend with me at the time, and we were driving down 99, and I was like speeding, and we were on our way home from Chick-fil-A, and I was going like 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, maybe even more, and I just like passed this cop, and I saw him just like sitting and on the side of the road, pretty much just like with his gun or whatever. So he of course just pulls out right behind me, and I pull over to the left side of the road, which he then explained later could have been a big ticket as well, because I'm on the left side of the highway, and I guess that's just a no-no. So if you did not know that, always pull over to the right-hand side of the road. But at the time, I was working at this restaurant in Sherwood, and it had gotten robbed. And so this police officer had just came in the day before, and when he walked in the back of the kitchen, I was just kind of being a smartass. And when he walked in, I was just like, officer, I wasn't speeding, you know, like kind of kidding around or whatever. And he kind of laughed and then went and talked to the restaurant owner about more serious stuff, like what actually happened and shit like that, not fucking me making stupid jokes in the kitchen. So he ends up going, or they go and talk or whatever. It was like just kind of funny. And then, yeah, this next day I get pulled over. I pull over the left side of the road. So when he walks up to the window, we instantly recognize each other. And I'm like, officer, I was speeding tonight. And he's just like, kind of like, man, you know, like you shouldn't be. What are you doing? And I'm like, her curfew was like 25, 30 minutes ago or something like that. And we were still like probably 20 minutes away from home. And I was like, we're just like super late getting her home, and we went to Chick-fil-A, and we were just having a good night, and then like, I don't know, I got pulled over, I'm really sorry, and he was just like, it's okay, you know, like, da-da-da-da-da, let me go back to my car. He goes back to his car, and he like does whatever, and he like explained to me then that like I would have gotten a ticket for being pulled over on the left side of the road, and he tells me, he's like, my printer's broken, which is his nice way of being like, I'm letting you off, you dumbass, like, don't be speeding again. And so, yeah. So that's another way to get out of the ticket is if you have a girl with you. Well, that's another one that wouldn't work if you're older. Like if you're older than 18. Because the first excuse is like, just get out because you're a dumbass and you haven't been driving for a while. And then the second excuse was like, use your girlfriend and be like, yeah, we're trying to make her home before her curfew. But if you're over the age of 18 and have a curfew, you probably shouldn't have a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be really weird dates when you can only take her to mini golf until fucking 7:30 before the dad starts calling. I don't know. But yeah, so neither of those, I don't know. That works for any of my audience that's under the age of 18. If you're older than that, you're fucked. You're getting a ticket. I think that's kind of it. I think they also have I'd say they probably have 20% more sympathy, and like you have a 20% better chance of not getting a ticket. I feel like if you're under the age of 18, like I feel like they're maybe going to be like, oh, you know, it's a young kid. We don't want to do this to him yet. So yeah. That's probably the best way to get out of a ticket, is just stay a young kid. Be like 17 your whole life. I don't know. Other than that, leave me questions on this podcast video so I can answer them on the next solo podcast, because I need to be posting the solo podcast if I don't have guests in here. And when I'm working on projects like doing those stickers for that one guy, it's really hard to be also coordinating guests to be coming over while I'm over there all day. And so I don't know, it's good to be doing the solo ones too. It's nice to just talk with you guys and answer your guys' questions of what you guys want to ask me. And in return of that, like I was kind of earlier talking about the Patreon thing, maybe next solo podcast, I got a couple people I can call, because that would be pretty entertaining. I think it would. Maybe it's not. Maybe none of you guys are interested in it. If you are, fucking slide over to the Patreon, and that link is in the description down below. Other than that, we're at like 21 minutes. I think most people have probably turned off the podcast, if I'm being honest at this point. I don't know. Maybe not. If you're out there, tell me. I want, like, you don't have to, but like, it would be funny if people just started like leaving timestamps of when they turned it off. They're like 12:55, I was done. I was over it. They're like 4 minutes and 16 seconds in, I was out, bro. They're like, okay, 13 seconds into the podcast when you started talking, I was just like, yeah, I'm out. But yeah, I don't know. Comment a timestamp of when you're really getting bored of the podcast. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're sitting through. You're riding this out. You're like, man, he's not bad. Maybe I'm just being a little hard on myself. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'm not being hard enough. Hop in that comments and be like, you fucking suck. Like, you actually should stop doing this. 50 people watch each podcast. It's not worth it. Say something like that. That really boosts my spirit most of the time. Oh, bro, I don't fucking know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. What else do I have to say? Not much, I don't think. Let me tune back. Oh, I'm also working on these shoes right now. Maybe I'll insert a couple clips of those. I'm painting those up. They'll be kind of interesting when they're done. And there's some like custom SpeedRacinJason shoes. They're not Vans or Air Force Ones or anything like nice brand or anything like that. They're straight from Target. They're like $12.99. Not a bad option for your first time customizing some shoes, but I've been painting them. They're looking kind of interesting so far. Other than that, I don't know. I'll just kind of tune you guys in on the next podcast. I'll tell you what else I've been up to. And if you're like, I don't know, I almost feel like I should start like having some sort more of like a topic, maybe. I really like that History Hyenas, if I'm being honest, dude. They really got my favorite podcast spot right now, probably, because it's just so interesting. Like, like they start talking about the history of everything, and it's like they're doing such a bad job of explaining the history that it's just hilarious, and it's just two comedians, having a good time, and it's just like something that you come back for. You're like, okay, so you're gonna get a little bit of history, dude. Honestly, right now I'm just selling other people's podcasts. You guys are like, I'm tuning this one off, I'm going over there, but you get a little bit of history, and then you get a little bit of like funny, and it's just like they kind of always have some sort of a category of topics to pick from, which I kind of think is interesting. So maybe I should start doing like kind of segments or something on the pod. I don't know. Like I was saying, get that fucking Patreon popping, bro. I'll start calling people for 20 minutes, talk with them. I'll do something else. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I promote the Patreon a little much because nobody has gone over there and hit that up. So that's a little embarrassing to keep promoting something that, I don't know. You know what I mean? But we're still trying. Go check out all the other podcast episodes if you enjoyed this one. I really liked the El Camino Kyle podcast that I did, the one with Ethan. I like all of them, honestly. I think I like all of them. They're all good, but go check them all out. Go check out some of the more recent ones. I think you guys will like them if you like this one at all. If you like this one at all, also please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me something you like. Tell me something you want to know about me, or about something that I might not even know that much about, but I'll try and explain it to you, because It happens. Other than that, have a great day, everyone. I love you all very much. I appreciate it. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.